News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Crews battling a blaze on South 7th Street and a tragedy in Frenchtown last night. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Monday, June 15th, 2015. We have a mostly clear sky out there. Nice summer morning, 55 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville. Call 777-5387. Crews from Missoula Rural and City Fire Departments battling a structure fire on South 7th Street that was reported just after 4 this morning. Missoula Police and Sheriff's personnel also responded to help with traffic in the area. We're waiting for details on the scope of the damage to the home and whether anyone has been injured. First responders are asking people to try to stay away from the scene at this time. And an evening of horseback riding ended in tragedy last night near Frenchtown when a western Montana woman was killed after being thrown from a horse. Jeremiah Peterson with the Missoula County Sheriff's Office has these details.
There was a horse-related incident in the Frenchtown area, and a 30-year-old female was bucked off or fell off the horse, and she sustained injuries that she was not able to survive.
Peterson said a party of 4 was riding last night when the fatal incident occurred just after 7 p.m.
Unknown exactly what spooked the horse. Frenchtown Fire, along with Messi, responded, and she was taken to St. Pat's Hospital where she was pronounced deceased.
Peterson said the incident is still under investigation and the name of the victim is being withheld pending notification of next of kin. The case of a Hamilton man charged with raping 5 teenage girls over several decades concluded Friday after a jury found 45-year-old Brad Daffin guilty on all charges. Valley County Attorney Bill Fulbright says Daffin was found guilty on 16 of 17 felony counts on Friday. All convictions aside, though, Fulbright said the real hero is the young Hamilton teenager who stepped forward and told her traumatic experiences to a school counselor.
After experiencing sexual abuse at the defendant's hands in the summer of 2013, she disclosed in early 2014 to her school counselor as this boiled over inside of her. That disclosure led to a second similar-aged peer, and when we charged Mr. Daffin, he was arrested on those charges, and it hit the newspaper. That caused some other information to come forward.
Fulbright says even further investigation led from one to the next until even more victims were uncovered, reaching as far back as 2 decades.
We found out because of other people this sort of thing across the board and very universal is a expression of relief from them, no longer buried, no longer had to be kept a secret. One lady who is 34 years old now actually sought out the 13-year-old at a very emotional meeting with her, telling her, she only had the courage to speak out now because of what this 13-year-old girl did.
Daffin faces a maximum sentences of 16 life terms. That's 1,600 years in prison. Sentencing is set for September. A 19-year-old Oregon man, Andrew Knutson, appeared in Missoula Justice Court Friday, charged with sexual intercourse without consent. According to court documents, Knutson allegedly had sex with an underage girl on May 18th at her 15th birthday party. The girl was examined at First Step and told counselors about the sexual encounter. A detective then interviewed Knutson, who eventually admitted having sex with the victim. Deputy County Attorney Celine Kepke asked Judge Karen Orzek for $50,000 bail.
In this case, the defendant confessed to raping the victim and knowing she was 15. Your Honor, the state believes that $50,000 is a reasonable amount for bail. Due to the fact that the defendant is a possible flight risk, the state has it under information that he was about to leave for Oregon.
Kepke offered more reasons for the high bail.
The defendant was also showing up at the victim's school and essentially was stalking her, according to the victim's mother. At this point, Your Honor, the state would object to any pretrial screening because he does not have an actual residence and was making plans to leave the jurisdiction.
The affidavit, which you can read on our website at newstalkkgvo.com, also states that an investigation into other charges is underway involving another underage victim. Judge Orzek did place Knutson back in jail on $50,000 bond. A Montana Human Rights Bureau investigation has found that the Missoula Marathon discriminated against disabled athletes who wanted to travel the course using hand cycles. The Missoulian reports that investigator Josh Manning submitted his findings to the Bureau last week. He sided with quadriplegic athlete Joe Stone, who claims that the marathon's parent company, Run Wild Missoula, discriminated against him when it eventually allowed hand cycles in 2014, but imposed prohibitive restrictions. Run Wild Executive Director Tony Banovich said in a statement last week the organization, quote, acted in good faith, end quote, by allowing disabled athletes to compete in the 2014 marathon. The next step is conciliation, where each side will attempt to settle the disagreement out of court. It's budgeting season for the city, and Mayor John Engen is asking for a tax increase of 5.27%. City Councilman Adam Hertz said on Talkback on Friday, if approved, this would be one of the largest tax increases of his tenure.
This is my fourth budget season at the City of Missoula, and every year in the past I voted against the budget. It's always come with tax increases that I thought have been unnecessary, and it looks like this year's shaping up to be the same way. I think this is the highest proposed tax increase since my time on council.
The tax increases could be even higher, up to 8.91%, if all the city council members have their requests approved. Hertz explains some of the new requests that are driving up the cost.
Some of the new requests are things that we just have to do, like hold a municipal election this fall, and we have to pay for that. Other new requests are another part-time assistant judge, some various capital improvement programs. Largely, though, the increases are driven by cost of living increases for city employees.
The city is currently projecting an ending fund balance of $3.4 million, which is close to the amount Mayor Engen acknowledges the city will have to pay if it loses its condemnation lawsuit against Mountain Water. In the last school year, the University of Montana had more than 830 international students enrolled. The Missoulian reports that in a time of dipping enrollment at UM, the number of international students hit a record high. And in a time of budget cuts, one of the few new positions UM approved is another recruiter for the Office of International Programs. And Danielle Weinman of Cutbank has been crowned Miss Montana of 2015. The 23-year-old won the state title Saturday in Glendive. Weinman's sister Alexis was Miss Montana in 2012. First runner-up was Olivia Dowler of Bozeman. She received the crown from the former Miss Montana, Victoria Valentine of Missoula. News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny and warm today with our highs in the mid to upper 70s. Winds will be breezy with wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with our lows right around 50. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.